Shalom. I'm Rabbi Laura Duhan-Kaplan, here to share with you 5 minutes of animal Torah for Parshat Noach. Of course, it will be a snippet of insight into the story of Noah's Ark, a snippet of insight into one snippet of the story, the helpful crow. And yes, he's actually in the Torah. We'll talk first about the Peshat, the simple interpretation, the plain meaning of the text. And once we understand the Peshat, then we'll be ready for just a little bit of the Drash, a moral teaching for our time. To understand the Peshat, the plain meaning of a story, you have to be on the same page as the storyteller, at least a little bit. You have to share some background knowledge. And BI friends, you are in luck, because if you live in or near Vancouver, then you know a lot about crows. You know, for example, that every night crows fly home to a great big communal roost in Burnaby. And at that roost, they talk and they shout and they debrief the day. What happened in your family territory today? What did you learn that was interesting? And if you live in or near Vancouver, you also know that crows actually like the city, and they don't mind living near humans. You know that crows sometimes become friends with human beings. Canuck the crow is only the most famous example. You might even know that crows speak a language with grammar and syntax and crow words. You probably don't know any human who speaks crow, but it might be possible to learn it. If you were a really animal-focused person, someone like, say, Noach. Back to the story. Noach fills his boat with animals. They ride the waves for 40 days of rain, then another 9 months until the waters recede. And then Noach decides it might be time to look for dry land. And so, Torah says, Noach opens the window of the ark and sends out the orev, which is the biblical Hebrew word for both crow and raven. Noach sends out the orev, the crow. And Torah says the crow goes out and back until the waters are dry. Now, what do you, who know so much about crows, think that this crow is doing? Of course, he's coming home every evening to his communal roost at the ark, where he lives with his multi-species family, and he's bringing Noach a report on what he has seen. And so, only after the crow reports that the land is dry, only then Noach sends the dove to see if she might find twigs and leaves on the ground to build her nest. And that's the Peshat. And now, a tiny bit of drash, a message for our time. How does Noach begin to rebuild after environmental disaster? He relies on the wisdom of other species. How will we recognize the urgency of environmental issues today? Well, we might pay attention to other species, to their problems, like habitat shrinkage, and extinction. But we also might pay attention to their promise, that is, their skill at adapting and living together with one another. The information is out there. It's collected and shared by biologists, by indigenous teachers, and even by the animals themselves. I hope you'll join Rabbi Infeld and me on Wednesday evening, October 6th at 7:30 online for Primetime BI, where I will talk more about the wisdom of animals in the Torah, and I will share some ideas from my new book, Mouth of the Donkey, Reimagining Biblical Animals. A very early Shabbat Shalom to you.